welcome. It's Monday, June 20th, and it's day one of our Women's Wellness Week, Jumpstart, 5 days to jumpstart your feel good. And I am so excited to be here with you. My team and I have been getting excited about this call. And please do get in the comments. Hey, Karen Barno, thanks for getting in the chat. Get in the chat. If you are watching on Facebook, you do need to give StreamYard your permission to comment. We want to hear from you. That's the beauty. That's the wonder, the genius of these types of gatherings, is to see your comments and to see you in the chat and sharing where you are, getting some aha moments, some gold nuggets. So if you would, please get in the chat. Thank you, Sherry. That's what I wanted to see. Tell me where you are live streaming in from. Where are you coming in from, Facebook or YouTube? What city? Sherry's coming in from Toledo. Yay. Thank you. I know Karen's coming in from, I think Phoenix, definitely from Arizona. So where are you dialing in from? And also share with us if you have something that you're most looking forward to for this class. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And so I see a Facebook user. I'm on Facebook. If you can give StreamYard permission to use your name from Facebook, then we can see who you are. And the reason why that's important is because we're going to be doing giveaways starting tomorrow, really great giveaways, but you have to be here to participate and we have to see your name. So give us permission. Love that. Katri Tiny's here and she is coming to us from Helsinki, Finland. Wow. It's amazing, isn't it? That's why I love this, because we can really, getting together in person with women is something that just fills me up. I have been serving women for over 17 years. But I love that we can now get together online like this from anywhere, whether it's from Finland to right here in Los Angeles, California. So welcome to the week. Make sure that you've downloaded your workbook. My team, Lynn, created the most beautiful workbook for you to take notes. There's going to be a lot of juicy things for you to take in today. And I want to share with you that there's nothing that I'm going to talk about, to share, or give you ideas to do that you cannot do. All right. So a lot of times when we hear the word wellness, right, or health, we think, oh my gosh, are they going to ask me to go out and run 5 miles? Or are they going to ask me to do something or they're going to ask me to starve myself to death, right? I don't want to attend because I don't want that. So it's really important to know that everything I'm going to share with you are things that I do that anyone can do. And so I'm going to go through a little bit of what we're going to do this week and tell you a little bit about myself, because I know we've got some brand new people who I've never, spent time with before, to tell you who I am and why you should even listen to me. Hang on 1/2 second. Okay, there we go. So today, we're going to kick it off by talking about your wellness story. Your wellness story. And I'm going to tell you why that's important to do that first in a minute. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk with you about seven simple low risk, 7 simple low risk lifestyle changes that you can make to really add life to your years. Not add years to your life, but add life to your years, so that you have longevity, so that you feel vitality, so that you wake up every day with energy. Okay. On day 3, we're going to talk about coming clean, right? We're going to talk about some choices you may be making that you think are actually good for you, that we've learned that actually aren't. So we're going to talk about that as well. I'm going to have a special guest on Wednesday, and it's just going to be a great week. So I just want to take a look here. Hey, Philly, welcome to our masterclass. Sherry, fantastic. Sherry's relieved. Wow, I'm glad you're not going to ask me to go out and run 5 miles or starve myself. Hey, Valerie Ryan. Wow, so happy to see you here. So please, everyone, get in the chat. We want to hear from you. Again, you guys really bring the thunder. You bring the magic. I just share the information, but your feedback is really what really brings the energy and the juice and the magic to these things. So let me tell you a little bit about who I am And why I decided to do this class this week, because some of you are just having their first exposure to me. And again, I'm Joy Chudacoff, and I've been an entrepreneur for Gulp over 3 decades. I'm not going to tell you exactly how many, but over 3 decades. I'm 62, so you can figure it out. I'm 62, and I have been serving women who are on a mission to make an impact in their businesses, in their lives, and in their communities for 17 plus years out of my 30 something year as an entrepreneur, serving only women for 17 plus years. I've obviously seen a lot of ups and downs, struggles. I've had success and I've had failure. I've had a lot of life events, I have 2 children, and I donated a kidney to my husband about 12 years ago. And one of the things that's important and why I tell you that is because when you are a donor, it does mean that you have to be in incredible physical health and mental health. They check you for that too. Incredible physical and mental health to donate an organ to someone else. But it also means that post transplant, post me being the donor, I've had to take really good care of myself since then, because I'm operating a little bit at a disadvantage because I only have 1 kidney. I'm so healthy. I mean, I've just had my blood work done the other day, and they said, Joy, I don't know what you're doing, but you got to keep doing it. But again, it's about some choices I'm going to share with you. And so I've lived life. I've had a lot. And my most important goal, my mission, intention, and vision, which is in your workbook, is to help more women align their lives in their businesses, in their lives, and in their communities to make the impact they're here to make. Well, let's face it, ladies, it's hard to make a difference if you don't feel like getting out of bed in the morning. It's hard to make a difference if you don't feel like you have that energetic connection to life, right? Am I right? Give me some feedback here. So that's why I wanted to share this with you. Oh, Kathy, hey, it's good to see Kathy here. She's saying hi to Sherry, Lorraine, Katri, Carol, welcome. Thank you. These are such great comments. So tell me what resonates with you from that. What is it that you're here to do? What's your impact that you're here to do? And we're going to reveal more of that through this wellness story. But you're getting into the chat. I love that. And the chat is important because that's where the giveaways are going to come from this week. When we see people commenting in the chat and sharing what they're learning, but also sharing their aha moments, their gold nuggets, that's when we really realize people are connected to this. And again, starting tomorrow, we've got some fun giveaways. So I think I've pretty much shared why I decided to do it. The last 2 years have imprinted certain ideas, thoughts, and new stories for us when it comes to wellness, right? The last 2 years have been about a lot of, not fun, not good news when it comes to health and wellness, right? We've been through a lot. And I just want to say right at the top of the hour here that, if you've been sick, in the last 2 years, or maybe you had a family member who was sick, or maybe you lost someone, I want to just share with you, I'm sorry to hear that. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this class now. I felt called to do it because, ladies, the time is now. The time is right now. There's no more waiting on your wellness. It's time now. No matter what the newspaper says, no matter what the media says, no matter what the news report is, we've got to get started right now. Why? Because things are just going to keep coming at us. And I want to look today at what chapter or version of your wellness are you in? And from there, we can set those low risk new ideas and longevity leaps in motion. Love your question, Val. Interested in simple, low risk? Who isn't, right? And what coming clean is. Love that. Well, on Wednesday, you're going to find out what coming clean is. And it's going to be very interesting. It was very eye-opening for me when I learned it. Thanks for that question. Fantastic. All right. So when it comes to your wellness story, what version or chapter are you in? And I use those words interchangeably because I never know what word's going to hit home with a woman the best. So I'm using both chapter and version because I was thinking about getting an upgrade or what version you're on your phones, right? Your mobile phones, no matter what type of phone you have, we get those messages, right? Tonight at midnight or tonight, we're going to upgrade your phone to version, 15.1 or whatever it is. It's time for an upgrade, right? It means that they've got new improvements. They want to imprint a new improvement on your phone. Well, it's no different with your wellness and your life and your body. So what version are you in? Let me give you some examples. There could be multiple versions. This is not prescriptive, but I'm going to share mine, and I think it will help you to take some notes down. So I think that version 1, loosely, version 1 is when we're from birth, right? When we're born. When you're born, there's that version of you, that imprint. You're a brand new baby, and you have a version of your wellness, of your health and wellness, through to where you gain your own independence, right? Because when we are being raised by our families, we've got a version there. They're buying the food, they're feeding us the food, they're putting food on the table, they're talking about health and wellness around the dinner table. Well, what's your version? What was that? That's version 1. Now, version 2, loosely, could be when you gain your independence, right? When you leave home to go to college, to get your first job, to get your career going. Maybe you meet your significant other, your life partner, you have a family, whatever it is, that can be version 2. And that could go on for quite a few years, right? You're getting life experience. You're deciding how you're going to work out, how many hours you're going to sleep. You're deciding what you're going to eat. There's all these decisions that we make when we're in that version 2 of our lives. Okay. Then we come to a place which I'm calling version 3, which is wisdom, right? Wisdom. Version 3 is wisdom. I'm in version 3 now. I'm in version 3 of wisdom for my wellness. Let me give you an example. So from my early 20s, when I was in college, all the way up until I was in my early 40s, I used to love to run. I was a runner, and I just felt the need to. I had to get outside. When I was in my 20s, I couldn't wait to get home from work, jump out of my car, run into my apartment, change into my clothes, and take a run. Right? It was just part of me. It was something I needed. I needed the fresh air. I needed to see trees, all of those things to just unwind for the day. Okay. And I carried that habit, if you will, that ritual through to my early 40s. But you know what? In my early 40s, not from an injury or anything, but I just realized that running was no longer the imprint that I wanted on my body every day. Why? It was just the pounding changed. My body was changing. It wasn't as fun anymore. I found I was starting to have a few more injuries. Things were happening. I had problem with my hip. And so I'm just sharing with you that for me, in my wisdom, right, the version I'm in now, the wisdom, I walk every day. And I've got some myths I'm going to shatter for you tomorrow about walking in steps. But I walk, and I have a goal. I get out because, see, I still need the fresh air. I still need the trees. I still need the blue sky. I need all of those things, but I don't need to be running to do it. So now I set a goal to walk, and I have a goal to walk a certain number of steps every single day. But you see, that's a longevity leap. You see that's a longevity leap that I made for myself. I made that change. So would love to hear, are there any things that you did in another version or season or chapter of your life that you've changed up, but you're still enjoying it in terms of taking care of your health? Like, if anybody has anything, I would love to hear from you what those are, because that really, keeps the conversation going. Now, let's look at, another reason why I had this class just for women and not for everyone, because doesn't everybody need health and wellness? Sure. Men need it just as much as women do. But you know what? I'm here to really help and serve women. And women's bodies, our bodies, as we know, are extremely different. Obviously, we have the opportunity to give birth. We have the opportunity to, be pregnant for 9 months and and carry a child and still run a business and take care of other kids and be a leader in our community. I mean, there's all these things that we do, and we go through menopause, and we have monthly menstrual cycles. So our bodies are different. And so that's why I made this just for women, because it's different. And I will tell you that the societal pressure that we have as women is so different than it is for men. I want to give you a couple of examples, and I know you're going to be able to relate to this. When we went into lockdown and everybody went to Zoom, there were quite a few women who said, Joy, I want to join your Zooms. We had our weekly aligned Zooms, and we still have that community today. We meet every week. They said, Joy, I want to join, but I'm just not feeling comfortable on camera. I'm just not, even though you don't have to come on camera with Zoom, I really want to drive this point home because you may be feeling this way too. You may have felt this way. I really don't know. I just feel like I'm not presentable. I'm not prepared to come on the camera. Okay. I'm going to bring some humor to this. So I was hearing this from a few women, and I was like, oh my gosh, just come on. You don't have to turn your camera on. We want you to get the information. But you see, that was a judgment that they were making about themselves, about how they were looking, how they felt about themselves. So I was passing by the office. So during the lockdown, my husband and I had to share an office. Ladies, wow, that was about a 6-week ordeal. Having to figure out how we were going to share an office, because he moved home from work and he was sharing my office. Not an easy thing for us to do, by the way. So I want to share with you that I walked by he was sitting at my desk, and I walked by the desk and he was on a Zoom. Ladies, every guy, and it was like 6 men. Every guy that was on that Zoom had a baseball cap on, turned backwards, so that little strip was going across here. They had on short shorts, and they had T-shirts on. Some of them didn't even have their T-shirts pulled down over their stomachs. It was showing their bellies. I mean, this was a sight to see, I'm telling you. But see, women, we would not do that. We don't give ourselves the grace. We have to, do the makeup, do our hair, because we want to be presentable. But that's why I'm doing this class for you and not for everyone, because we have so much pressure put on us that we need to let go of. We need to just release it. And I hope that what I'm going to talk about this week is going to help you do that. Not saying we shouldn't look presentable, but we don't want to let that keep us from our growth, from the things that we want to do. So let me look at this. I love this. Love these. I want to read some of these comments. Valerie, boot camp, change of hard fitness to Pilates and walking. Val, I love Pilates. I love Pilates. I do it every Tuesday. I just love it. I'm so glad you brought that up. To me, it creates such tremendous change in my body. And talk about low impact. It is so low impact. And you don't even think, wow, could this really be helping me? And you feel the difference immediately, just a few hours later or the next day. So Pilates, I love walking in Pilates. You and I are speaking the same language. Love exercise videos. Love that. Katri, I used to trail run. Now I hike, right? She's saying, I used to love to run the trails, but I'm just hiking the trails. See, these are shifts, slight shifts that we can make that keep us in the game, that keep us active. My physical therapist says, the motion is the lotion. Let me repeat that. Motion is the lotion. So we just need to stay in motion. And there's no prescription that says we have to do it because we have to run a marathon, or, we have to do a triathlon, right? There are all these expectations, and I don't want you to think, or we have to wear the little, go to Lululemon or a couple of the other stores, I can't think of the names, and wear the really tight fitting clothes. No, what you want to do is what works for you, because you're living into your own version and your own longevity, so you can make your impact. And I love this. Aerobic exercises. Love that you guys are sharing this. This is what makes it so helpful, because you may be giving a tip to someone right now. Everything you put in this chat could be helping another person. It's not just what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm going to talk with you tomorrow about 7 777 low risk things you can do for your longevity, but we got to do the wellness story first. So let's get into that. We've talked about what version you're in. And I think I said before that, you know what? Aging is inevitable. The years are inevitable. I'm 62, but getting old is a mindset. At 62, I feel exactly the way I did when I was 32. Not running. I hadn't had my children yet, but you know what? I feel great every day. I feel great. I wake up, I've got energy. But see, that's my wellness story. That's my commitment. I'm going to wake up feeling good. And even if you are here today and you've been diagnosed with something or you've been having trouble with something, the key to this is that we've got to wake up every day and say, I'm going to do my best to put my best foot forward, and I'm going to take the action steps every day to get better, because you can get better if you're experiencing something right now. Now, let's talk about this wellness story. And again, because we've got to dive into this a little bit. If you're going to make some longevity leaps, that's why we have to do this first. Because I said at the top of the call, if we just decide we're going to go to an exercise class, but really haven't decided why we want to go to the exercise class, what's our wellness story, what matters to us, or another thing is when I go to a doctor, let's say I go to a doctor and I have a problem. I told you earlier with my hip, right? I've had a problem with my hip from running. Nothing that slowed me down, but just like some little aches and pains. Okay. When I go to the doctor, I want the doctor to talk to me about my wellness story, but they don't do that, do they? A lot of times. Put you on the table, they go right to the affected area, and then they just start poking and prodding, and they don't ask you a lot of questions. They just want to find out where the pain is. Well, where did the pain come from? What have you been doing the last week? What's been going on in your life? See, that's your wellness story. And I've got a very personal story to share with you about that in a couple of minutes, but just stay with me here. Part of what's keeping us from feeling good is fear. Part of what's maybe keeping you or other people so this is good. See, I want you to be an ambassador. I want you to go out and share this with other women. When you get this information today, go out and share it with somebody else because they may need to hear it too. Part of it is fear. Well, why would we have fear around our wellness? Well, let's look at a couple situations, especially what's happened over the last 2 years, right? Maybe your weight has shifted. Maybe your body composition has changed. If you're if you've gone through menopause or you're in perimenopause, about to go through menopause, this happens. It happens to us. And we want to keep up our longevity choices, which I'm going to talk about. We want to do all those things, but things change. Here's the other thing. When we went into lockdown, what did everyone do? We went into lockdown. A lot of your choices were pretty much just watching television, or maybe we got out and exercised. We could go outside as long as we wore the mask. Remember, way before any preventative stuff came around, we were in serious lockdown. And with my husband having kidney disease and a kidney transplant, take the lockdown and magnify it times 3, because we really had to lock down because he is immunocompromised. So my point is, if your body composition has changed during the last 2 years, you're not alone. But what do we do? A lot of times we look in the mirror and what do we judge ourselves. Ladies, we are the worst at this. We criticize how we're looking, and it's happening to a lot of people. But what do we think? It's only happening to me. Everybody else looks great. It's just me that it's happening to. We know that's not true. It's happened to everyone. So maybe that's been a fear of yours too. Like, how am I ever going to get back to or get to the place I want to be because things have changed for me, right? So I'm glad you're here because we're going to help you do that. I'm going to help you do that. Secondly, maybe you've been fearful because you're just not sure, or no one is, like, what is it I should be doing in my protocols? What can I do? Where can I go? What should I go to a crowded a studio with a lot of people where they're working out right now? Should I not? Should I just work outside in the park so I have plenty of fresh air? These are all, and sometimes what happens is you think about it so long that you start to say, you know what? I've been wasting a half an hour on trying to decide whether I should go or not. I'm just going to stay home, read a book, watch favorite TV show, whatever it is. So I'm sharing all this with you because I know it's happening, and I don't want you to, let's give ourselves some grace and ease. Let's not beat ourselves up anymore. I want to catch a few comments here. Fantastic. Yeah, Sherry says, I love walking, but don't get enough of it. So tomorrow, we're going to help you set a goal for that. An easy, low risk goal. Can't wait to share this with you. You're going to love it. Valerie, gravity sucks. It does. My mom used to say, the body is looking like a runaway train and it's going down. That's what my mom used to say. Right? She was right. But anyway, okay. So back to this. So, maybe you had a family member who was ill. Maybe there's all kinds of things that have gone on in the last 2 years that have made you have a wellness story that we need to rewrite, that we need to get out of, that we need to change. And I'm going to give you these some questions in just a couple minutes that I want you to journal about. Will take you less than 20 minutes. And then we're going to come back and, of course, learn more tomorrow. But just hang with me for a few minutes because I'm not finished. So how do we resolve this fear? How do we resolve this fear that we might be having around our wellness? Maybe somebody in your family, in your immediate family, in your lineage, in your ancestry, maybe they had a life-threatening illness. And maybe your story has become or is becoming, Joy, I'm worried all the time that, this is going to be my story. Like my dad had whatever, my grandmother had whatever. Real story. My grandmother on my father's side had Parkinson's. Okay? Had Parkinson's disease. And so is that my story? It's not my story. I never think about it. But wait a minute. But I could be, right? I could be living with that. So you want to ask yourself, am I telling myself a story about something that's happened in my family that I feel like I could inherit, but nothing's happened yet? So these are very, very real questions, okay, that we go through, but we don't always share them with people. But I'm sharing them with you because I want to get to this. I want to get to this wellness and help everybody start feeling better, because I know you're here because you want to feel better and you want to make an impact. And to make an impact, we need extraordinary amounts of energy, and we need to have a healthy mindset. We need to have an aligned mindset. So in order to have an extraordinary life with extraordinary amounts of energy, we need to align with a new mindset. Okay, I'm going to say it again. We need to align with a new mindset. Your thoughts, your daily thoughts are what's going to lead you to victory in everything in your life, not just your wellness. Your daily thoughts are what lead us to victory. Okay, they're also what lead us to victim. So you have to ask yourself, am I going to have victory, or am I going to feel like a victim in this? And so this is part of our wellness journey. So it's about a mindset shift. And I want to get into these wellness prompts for you, for your wellness story. Here they are. Now, I know I've got a few people here who are going to put them in the chat for me, and we'll also send them to you in a follow-up email. So there's no way you can miss them. And I'm going to talk about each one for a couple minutes. So, here are 3 prompts to help you write your wellness story. The first one: what was your first memory about health and wellness? Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's go think back to your childhood. What was your first memory about health and wellness? Think about that. Thank you, Becky. What was your first memory about health and wellness? Think back. And if it's something too personal, please, no pressure to share. But if you can't share, thanks, Kathy, in the Facebook group. If you can't share it. Tell us, what was your first memory? Okay. I'm going to tell you what my first memory was. I've never shared this story before. You're the first to hear it. My first memory about health and wellness had to do with my mom. My mom did not like where we were living. I was born and raised in Charleston, West Virginia, and She didn't like where we were living because, quite honestly, it was right next door to my parents, my father's parents. Okay, my grandparents on my father's side. And as I look back on it, they weren't very kind to my mother. They weren't very nice to her. I don't think they really cared for her because my father was raised sort of on the farm and my mom was a city girl. And they didn't want my dad to marry a city girl. I'm telling you, this is the truth. This is the mindset of these people. And I love them all very much. I love my grandparents, but they were limited. They were limited in their thinking, right? And there's nothing wrong with that because everybody grows. Your mindset can always grow, but they were limited back then. So my mom was unhappy and she wanted to move. But you know what I noticed from a young age? My mom had a lot of ailments. She, things hurt. Things bothered her. She was always going to the doctor, right? It was emotional pain that was manifesting as physical pain. Because how do I know this? Because some years later, when she moved to Florida, when they bought a condo in Florida, it was like I was meeting my mother for the first time. It was like she was a totally different person when she went to Florida. Why? Because she had that freedom. She had a new wellness story. She had a new version. She had a new chapter. She was around people who appreciated her funny jokes and her brilliance and her beauty. And she went on to do great things in her life. But not when I was a kid. That was my first memory. So what did I learn from that? I learned that our emotions, you got to be careful. And that's why feeling good is it's a mindset because you can convince yourself. You can convince yourself of a lot of things. The mind is a powerful engine that can really convince you of a lot of really good things, which is what we're going to do this week. It can also convince you some things that are not so great, right? So I want you to take that story in, okay? And what they've proven, research shows, that an MRI, the part of the brain that an MRI shows physical pain, do you know that's the same part of the brain on an MRI, it's the same part of the brain that lights up when you're having emotional pain? Yeah, that's right. You can look it up. It's not my fact. It's a fact online. You can just read it. So this has a lot to do with it. Now, you may be really having something physical, right? Which is true, but I'm answering the question for you. That was my first memory of health and wellness. What's yours? I want you to write about that this week. Number two, here's number two. For me, feeling good means. For me, feeling good means. So for you, what does that mean? For me, feeling good means, right? What does it mean to feel good to you? It's different for everybody. Someone may say, for me, feeling good means that I could really train and run a marathon. That's Joy talking in her 30s. Okay. For me, feeling good today means being able to get out and take the steps that I'm committed to. I'm going to talk a lot more about that tomorrow. Take the steps I'm committed to and to be able to live and give to my family and to the women I serve. That to me is feeling good. That's why I feel good. Love that. My mom always said I inherited that side. All right, Sherry, I love that attitude. Love that. Love your attitude there. You see, she just turned that around. She turned that inside out. I love that. Okay, so for me, feeling good means, what's number three? And this one's really important for the future. This is really important for the future, okay? Why is your wellness, it's a two-parter. Why is your wellness goal important to you? Why is it important to you? Why'd you come here? Why did you commit your time today to come and join me? I'm so glad you did. But why is it? Why is your wellness important to you? And here it is. What could you accomplish if you felt good every day? What could you accomplish if you felt your version of good every day? That's what this is about. See, that's what this is about. What is it you want to do next? What is it you want to do? And you really are geared towards, I want the energy, I want the health, I want the wellness, I want the longevity so that I can continue to do this every day. What is it for you? I would love to hear, from anyone who would love to share. I love that you guys are all sharing. Thank you, Sherry from Philadelphia, Val. I love everybody who is sharing. And listen, it's okay if you didn't share because maybe you're just not comfortable sharing. That's okay too. I just want you to get the information, but we love the shares because you guys really, really bring around about new points to think about. So we cannot be aligned in our health until we face our fears about our wellness story. Okay. It's hard to get aligned with your new health and wellness goals if you are looking at an old wellness story. So I want you to think about that and let your, Becky Happick, she shared this with me a few weeks ago and I loved it. Let your superpower be super aging, right? Wouldn't it be great if your superpower was super aging, right? Pro aging, having that great mindset that I feel as good today as I did whenever, right? All right, fantastic. So every day we're going to be on together anywhere from, 35 minutes to 50 minutes. I promise you that we won't go over because I know time is valuable. And let me just tell you what's going to happen next. Tomorrow, please be here because I'm going to talk about the 7 low risk longevity leaps that you can make. And they're going to be so easy. Here's your wellness, your focused wellness activity for today. All right. Here it is. I want you to take those prompts, which we'll also send in an email. And I really want you to block off block off 15 minutes. That's it. Just 15 minutes and journal about each one of those 3 questions. Okay. Because I want you to come back tomorrow and share with me what you learned. Okay. Okay, Carol says, I'll be working on Wednesday and Thursday. Thanks for letting me know. Facebook user, mine was remembering my dad was always sick, but my mom was so vibrant and healthy. Love that. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Carol, that's okay. We can tell you where the replays are going to be, so I don't want you to worry. But be here tomorrow and be here every day that you can. Again, we're not going to run over. It's going to be anywhere from 35 minutes to 50 minutes, but it's going to be good content. Telling you tomorrow is going to be fantastic. And we're doing giveaways. We're doing giveaways tomorrow, but you have to be live to participate in the giveaways and you're going to love them. All right. So that's your homework. I want you to journal on those 3 questions. Also in the email that you're going to get today, we also have a Finding Joy Wellness Assessment. Would you like to find out where you are in your wellness journey? We're going to send you the link if you want to take the wellness assessment. We would love to hear from you. Again, only if you want to, but the link will be in your email this afternoon. And here's one quick thing I'm going to have you do, just came to me. No matter how much water you normally drink every day, we're going to talk about water tomorrow, but no matter how much water you've had today, I want you to have 1 more glass than you normally do. That's it. No matter how much water you normally drink every day, I want you to challenge yourself to have 1 more glass of water today than you normally have every day. Okay? It'll be interesting to see what kind of a difference that makes. You see, slight shifts. And we're going to talk a lot more about that tomorrow again. All right? So thank you so much for being here on day 1. Please be here for day 2. If tomorrow's going to be those 7 longevity leaps, you're going to love them. We're going to talk about them. I'm going to give you some tips on what I've done. It's going to be a great class. And you'll get the replay, your questions, the assessment, all the goodies this afternoon in an email. Okay? Val, so great to have you here. I am so happy to have you here. You just don't know. I haven't seen you in so many years. Just great. So be here tomorrow. Don't forget. Becky's first memory, doing exercise with my grandma, watching Jack LaLanne. I love that. Woo, Jack LaLanne. All right. Fantastic class. Thank you, Karen. All right, everybody. Have a great afternoon. Stay well. Do your wellness story. And I'll see you back here at noon tomorrow, Pacific. Bye-bye.